Hello, welcome to the channel. This video is about the first step with our vets in the process of artificially inseminating our ewes. My name is Jennifer Johnson. My husband and I raised this beautiful flock of soft Shetland sheep. This channel is going to be full of videos that are about raising sheep for their wool, ranging from, the sheep 101, sheep information, wool quality, taking the wool and turning it into yarn, the tools and equipment that I use to do that, and just basic farm country living. It's a gorgeous day today. I couldn't really have asked for better. And the vet is going to be here this afternoon. We're going to be inseminating 8 ewes, so we're going to be putting the CIDRs in those 8 ewes this afternoon, and that'll get us on track for doing the actual insemination on, I think it's the day after Thanksgiving. There's a few more steps that we have to do in between today and when we do the insemination. There's some shots we have to give them and stuff, but right now today the focus is on getting those ewes isolated this afternoon. So I'm going to have the fun of trying to get them out of the getting them out of the barn. Someone saying hello. Getting them into the barn so that I can have them ready for the vet. I wanted to, don't bite me, I wanted to feed them this morning, get them healthy, and so then I'll get them in the barn later today, and then we'll have the vet take care of this little one here. I love her. You're just a precious, aren't you? You're my girl. You got hay in your eyelashes. Why don't you go back and get some more to eat? There's more hay over there. Go on. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for stopping by. I have an entire playlist on this whole process, which starts with the US breeders that were really key in getting this whole thing started, identifying the farms we wanted to use and working with the UK breeders to bring over semen from the UK. So there's that video. Then I have a conversation with the actual people that own the rams over in the UK. So, and I'm going to be continuing to chronicle this whole process right through till lambing. I'm only going to be, well, at this point my plan is to only breed the AI just because our flock numbers are pretty high right now and I don't have capacity for more. So I'll put a link to that playlist here, and you can enjoy the videos that lead up to it and anything that happens after. So thank you again for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I wanted to share a little bit about our breeding program and how we traditionally have bred our ewes. Our method for breeding has always been the natural method, where you put a ram in with a bunch of ewes and you just let them get to it. So this is our ram Harry with his ewes last year. So our sheep tend to come into estrus once a year in the fall, and estrus means they're just ready to be bred. Their breeding cycle lasts 17 days, and they're only really fertile for a few days in that cycle. So we put them in with the ram for 2 cycles, or about 5 weeks, starting on Thanksgiving weekend. And then we'll pull them from the rams and put them back in with the rest of the flock. Ewes take 147 days to produce a lamb. That's called their gestation period. So our ewes will start to have their lambs in the middle of April through till the end of May. We like to have them in the late spring just because the weather is a lot milder here in western New York, so it's nicer for the lambs. So very different from AI, as with AI we're going to be manipulating their estrus with the CIDRs and the injections, and then they're all going to lamb in a very narrow window. So we won't have any separate breeding pens or ram nonsense to deal with because of the fact that we're using the AI. But this is really just a side benefit for us. Our main reason for using AI is to expand the genetic diversity here in the US, where all the Shetland breeders are working with descendants of a small group of 30 sheep that were imported here in the early 80s prior to the closing of the borders. There have been limited importations since then of semen, but the rams that we are using were very carefully selected to help us with our goal of getting well-built, healthy sheep that will produce beautiful, fine, soft fleeces for our hand spinners to enjoy. I have an ETA from the vet that's going to be installing the CIDRs for 3:15, and I got all 8 of the ewes isolated in one of our wings. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to usher them over into a small stall so it's easy to get them, less stressful. There's some hay in there. And then I'll finish cleaning out the barn, putter around outside a little bit, and then when the vet comes, hopefully he's okay with me taking a little bit of footage, just so you kind of get a feel for what it's about. Here is what I found out about the CIDRs on the Premier website. A CIDR is a T-shaped nylon insert molded with a silicone rubber skin containing progesterone that's released at a controlled rate into the bloodstream after insertion. Progesterone is released from the skin of the insert, causing the animal's blood progesterone concentrations to increase rapidly. Maximum concentrations are reached within an hour after insertion. After the CIDR is removed, a rapid drop in the progesterone occurs, and that causes a synchronized effect of estrus within a flock, allowing for AI to take place. After the CIDRs have been inserted, the ewes will all be synchronized with their reproductive cycle, so they should all go into heat shortly after those CIDRs are removed, just in time for inseminating them with our imported ram straws. Then we're also going to be able to very accurately predict when the lambs will arrive next spring based on a 147-day gestation period. I made a last-minute decision to use one of the handling components that we just recently purchased. I thought it would make it easier and safer to handle the ewes while the vet inserts the CIDRs.
Huh. Here's our sheep CIDR.
Looks like an IUD.
Exactly what they look like.
Ready? So this is the CIDR. This is what it will look like after it's been inserted into the ewe. The T is what secures the CIDR in her canal, and the semicircular string that protrudes out, that'll just be there so we can pull them out before the day of insemination. The applicator holds the wings down so the CIDR can be inserted, and then once it's in the correct position in the ewe, the applicator will unlock the T, it'll pop open, and that'll be what holds the CIDR inside her canal.
Okay.
The handling system would have worked out really well, except for that I forgot that the head gate had special pins, which I had removed the last time I used it. So we used rubber ties. They weren't as solid, and you can see that the head gate is a little misaligned. Of course, I found the pins after the vet left, but I will have them for the next visit, which is when we're going to do injections closer to the insemination date. This is going to be another video in this series, and we're going to learn all about those injections and what they do for the process. But I can tell you a little bit about the schedule. So the CIDRs went in on November 10th. The next step is going to be an estrogen shot on the 21st, which the vet will be out to help us with that, to help ensure success. Then we're going to pull out the CIDRs on the 23rd of November, and Rich will give them another injection at that same time. And this will set them up to be ovulating on the 25th, which is the day that the vet is going to be out to inseminate them with the straws that were shipped here from the UK Shetland breeders. And here they are, all CIDR'd up and ready to rejoin the rest of the flock. We're not going to need to isolate them at all, because this is just going to introduce stress and there's no real benefit for isolating. The process of inserting the CIDRs really actually went faster than the process it took to get them into the pen and all set up in the handler. It was such a relief to have the CIDRs done and dusted today. After purchasing the straws, this was the next big milestone in the process, and there is a very hard deadline for inserting the CIDRs. So I was a little stressed about timing, but everything went smoothly. And after it all, I was able to really relax and enjoy the beautiful late afternoon autumn sun with my ewes on their winter pasture. So now that the sheep have their CIDRs in, the sheep that we're going to be breeding, the chores in the morning are a little bit different because we want to give them grain. They call this flushing. You want to get their bodies built up so that they're ovulating well and just in good condition to carry a lamb. So 1 cup of grain per ewe in the morning. Hey guys, real quick, I just wanted to interrupt the video there and set your minds at ease. When we're talking about flushing them with grain, this is not about force feeding them with a product that's not made specifically for sheep. We're giving them a grain designed and formulated for sheep. It's really good for them. It's very easy for them to digest. This is just about helping them to get into really good condition with a very nutritious, designed for sheep, easy to digest product. Okay, back to the video. In my process, we could just grain everybody and then hope that they get enough. But and we just want to make sure that they get the full cup. So I'm separating them in the morning into the west wing of the barn. And then giving them their grain and then letting them out into the pasture to have hay. And I'm wearing a mask now because when no matter how clean the barn floor is, it's still dusty in there and I'm starting to get a little chest congestion again. So I just wear this little mask, surgical mask, when I'm out there so that I don't get all congested and stuff. So, I'm going to go out now and just kind of show you what that's all about. And I also am supposed to be inspecting to make sure that the CIDRs have stayed in. One of the ewes, the vet informed us, has a fairly loose muscle tone down there. And it's possible that her CIDR might fall out. So we're just checking that. He left us with an extra CIDR. So if it did, we can always put a new one in. So I did the grain yesterday with them, and they were really confused. So it's probably going to take 4 days for them to get used to this routine. And anytime you change anything, they wig out. So I'm going to move all the sheep into the center section. He set them up. And then, hi baby. It's easier for me to catch them. And then I'm going to close off that side, and that's where I'm going to put them, shift them into. Okay? You know, you'll get the drill pretty soon. And as long as I get everybody that's in the group, she's got to go over it. That was Paul. That's actually the one that I got to keep an eye on. That's Saren. She's in the group. And there's Ilara, the white ewe there, with eyes. They all have eyes, but she's got like really cool black markings. I need to scrape the floor there. You can see where the gate's dragging. It's hard to open and close it, but I just need to open this like a foot for them to get in. That's all I really need. And I do have to lock it with the chain, otherwise little ones sneak in there. Ready? I will be creating a video in the next week or so all about the 8 ewes that we selected, what factors went into our decision, and just talk a little bit about the qualities of each of the ewes. So stay tuned and look forward to that video. I'm looking forward to making that. So here I am checking to make sure the CIDR is in place, just to make sure that little string is sticking out. And I'll be doing that for every ewe here until we remove the CIDRs. So now they get 2 trays of grain. So my routine is I feed the AIUs their grain, and then I complete the rest of the chores, take care of the rams and stuff. Then I'll put the hay outside, lay it down. Then I let the whole flock out at once, so that way the AIUs aren't at a disadvantage with getting hay. But what's happening here is, as I'm moving the grain into the plastic tubs and rattling the lids, the main flock hear that and they're agitated because they think they're going to be getting grain. There you go. It's just me being a control freak, trying to make sure that it's 4 ewes per tray, but they're going to go where they're going to go, so not sure if that effort was worth it. Good, huh? Okay, so that's done. So I just have to go with the rest of my chores now. Get the hay for the rest of for everybody. Throw out a bale for them. Then I got to put hay in the 3 ram pens. It's starting to rain. So I got all the hay out along the fence for the ewes. And I got a bale of hay that I brought over for tonight. And a bale for extra. I'm really annoyed. I had no idea I was going to get this much rain. Normally if it's raining like this, I'll feed the ewes inside. They don't seem to mind. It's not cold out, fortunately. All right, so the ones I checked, there was 2 I missed, but of the 8 ewes, 6 of them I confirmed that the CIDRs are still intact, so that's good. And they got their grain, so that'll be the routine going forward. I'm a little ticked. I really wish I put the hay down in the barn this morning because I didn't realize it was raining, or that rain was in the forecast, but they'll be okay. So that's going to be my routine every day now until they get inseminated, which is the day after Thanksgiving.